AIS Play รวมความบันเทิงคุณภาพเปิดความสนุกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
Score or Peanut, we saw yesterday from Score, he's an absolute monster right now.
Yes.
He's completely just shutting down junglers before they can even get anything done. We saw that against MLXG in their matchup against China, and that was just a straight slaughter in the jungle.
Pathing genius. I mean, he just nailed down MLXG just in the first real path around the camps. Having good eyes on MLXG was in the bottom side of the map and made him, or at least forced him to take his red buff or base, so we didn't get to see MLXG really in the early portion of the game. Of course, again, Republic and Korea in front of your face. It's going to be Peanut starting out, so Keen, Peanut, Faker, Ruler, and Core JJ rounding out the lineup for today.
Oh, I'm ready for some Peanut League of Legends, Raz. I mean, this will definitely change the DNA of the team coming into this one, because we saw from Score, very cerebral jungler, he'll track the enemy jungle, he'll look for those invades, but Peanut would just mess your lane up.
Oh, he's going to be matching that aggression that we're seeing from Vietnam, so I guess that's the strategy they chose here, putting Peanut into the first game lineup. So I would love to see Peanut. In the qualifiers, we saw Feast or Famine Peanut. That's what I love to see. Either he's the weakness that you can really, nail down, because a lot of the failures that he had in the qualifiers is being able to sync up with Keen in the top lane, so the 2v2s weren't as good as they would want him to. They'd put him on a Skarner pick, and he would fail in that fashion. But remember the games where they'd have him on a Talia pick, a Nidalee.
Yeah.
You'd realize that actually Peanut is just like mechanically incredible, and so you can just have him as the spear of your team.
Yeah. Jungle carries, man, that's really where you want to put him. Facilitate those lanes, and especially this guy on your screen, Faker. You saw a massive fan support coming up from the Korean fans who come over all the way from their home country. And it's got to feel good for Faker. The fact that he's got people supporting him in his side lanes, people supporting him from the jungle as well. Just allow him to shine.
Flanked by all-stars. That's really what it's the name of the game. Him working with Peanut is actually a reunion of sorts.
Yeah.
SKT Peanut not too long ago, and it was unfortunate that that relationship didn't work out. He was able to go into another team entirely. But it's just nice having by a carry jungler, so he doesn't have to worry too much about his own performance. So now, of course, as you see, Keen on the camera. Rookie of the split, Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the tournament, maybe? I don't know. King is just crushing it right now.
Yeah, he's a monster. So you can see the Aatrox games that he's putting him on. He's just an outright solo carry. On that one GP game, he was getting targeted out quite a bit, so it's not the full support Keen mode. He had a game where they literally played away from Keen because they had the GP pick, and he was simply not dying. He was putting up a lot of pressure on the map, so, I mean, if he's going to be performing this consistently, you'd expect that out of him.
Yeah, he was just straight unstoppable. On the opposite side, though, we've got Stark in the top lane, Egen in the jungle, Warzone in the mid with Slay and Ron OP down in support.
Here's the thing. We were talking about Warzone and Egen for a lot because that's what the team identity is really centered around, but Stark as a top lane carry, I mean, you can nail down each and every player, but for me, it comes down to Egen, Warzone, and Stark. Stark is an incredible player. He's found himself on the Kennen split push picks quite frequently, just like throughout the year, that is.
So not yesterday as well.
So for him to do well, he's been performing well in his games, but the team play has not been shoring up. So what I would love to see out of Team Vietnam, play towards your top side, maybe pick a Swain Tom Kench bottom lane, and just try and, for the bottom lane, understand that you're going to be focused out quite heavily.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen things that are just, not an AD carry come out of Slay, but yesterday we saw pick up multiple AD carries, Kai'Sa, the Ashe, and the Tristana coming forward.
Yeah, he loves himself some Tristana. He really does. When he finds himself being able to pick it, with Storm Razors coming back online, then he will go for it. That's something that he would love to pick up in second phase. But of course, all eyes on the beast, Warzone himself. Just love the fact that the guy is a major smack talker. He's super confident in his own abilities. I remember in MSI he was able to nail down, of course, in the mid lane, just holding it down up against GBM. Of course, now having Egen by his side, picked up the Poppy pick, so he can get on the map and support it. Remember, Poppy is an interesting one. We've seen it a few games globally. It just works well versus Gragas, versus Camille, so you can actually have that, I'd say, secure your own lanes in a teamfight setting. Really blocks, denies these picks to dash in and engage. So it's a possibility to pick pecked out. I don't think it should. Do not like Poppy. in this, at least for this team.
Yeah, Poppy, as you said, smashes the dash champions into the jungle or into very specific compositions, but it's like you've got to weigh the risk and reward. And it's just like, is Poppy really the best tank jungler you could pick right now?
Usually
Probably
you just
not.
want to be able to get the Gragas pick out of the way. So
Yeah.
Gragas, Sejuani, but if you're Yijin, then I would love to see the Kindred being picked up. But remember the preparation, you have an entire night to prepare. So knowing that you're going up against Yijin in your first game of the day, you might want to take that away.
Yeah, maybe. You say an entire night like that's like, you know, a long time. They've got to adjust overnight to go up against their opponents and create this mini meta. But we're about to get into Champions League Korea versus Vietnam.
Hey, depends on how you're spending your night. Maybe you just don't want to sleep. Maybe you're just allergic
Maybe.
to
Then you
sleep.
got significantly longer. That's fair, Raz. I didn't think about that one.
Maybe you're Matthew Fish Stewart and you just can't do it. It's impossible.
Maybe. Shout outs to the LPL casting crew. Yeah, Korea's going to be banning away the Swain and the Camille. You were just talking about maybe bringing a Swain into the bottom lane here for Slay. So already identified from Korea, so it's likely that they maybe didn't sleep last night. Akali and the Galio coming forward from Vietnam.
Shen is something that I would like to see here from Ron OP if it's available. So once again for Korea, if they want to take away picks that are just nullifying the early game, then a Shen would be a nice way to do it. Galio's already off the map, so Warzone just saying he doesn't want to deal with Faker just playing a lane game. He wants to challenge him 1v1. So Kindred is what Korea ended up choosing. So there we go. They didn't sleep. I don't even have to ask them questions. They were saying we're studying all night long to dealing with Vietnam.
We had that watch from Harry Potter, so they cloned themselves and they just came to a different timeline. They had all the time in the world, maybe they had a week worth of time. Yeah, Kindred coming forward and they just blocked everything from Vietnam. Incredible stuff. And there's the Aatrox on red side. Please do not keep keen any more Aatrox. I don't want to see it in this tournament.
You can pick anything. Quinn's still up and available, but if you're Korea, you should pick up the. It seems like Tahm Kench is going to be their priority. Should mean that Slay should get the Varus and Braum, because I usually don't care too much for the Tahm Kench if Braum is available. I think Varus is just the usual go-to. That just means that Rulik's actually fairly comfortable with either just picking up a counter matchup in the second phase or an Ashe immediately. So it's just a question of Rulik wants to pick up an Ashe or an Ezreal.
Yeah, that's the big question right
Wow.
here. Oh, there's going to be Rise coming forward actually very early on. So already seen this from Warzone. I mean, classic pick from him. But yeah, we're going to see this one.
So yeah, Rise just being picked up really early on. I'm surprised about that. You want to get your counter pick for your mid lane a little later on. You're in red side, but it seems like they're just committed to having Starkid as a counter pick. That being said, Rise has been a top lane pick in the tournament just a little bit. Indonesia picked it up for Fake Friend. It's a possibility that's still up there, so second phase is going to be interesting.
Yep, we're going to see the Ashe pick actually coming alongside the Tahm Kench as well. I mean, classic stuff coming out from Korea right here.
Yeah, so Ashe, I already mentioned it's a nice pickup to go for. Perhaps Vietnam can actually get a cleanse here in the bot side of the map so they can deal with the fact that the CC is up and available between both of them. It's going to be interesting to see what that ends up being. The Trundle being locked in, though, means that Peanut's going to be trying to facilitate at the very least mid lane. It means that Yasuo is going to be an interesting, it could be a pickup for Faker. We all know the Trundle Yasuo combination you can go for. So if you're Warzone here and you're kind of just looking that down, maybe you decide to give it away because Ryze versus Yasuo is actually a pretty decent matchup. You can send in your own jungle, you have a great setup. So that's what I would be looking for.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty to be honest, so there's a good chance that will come forward, but we're not going to see it on the first phase right here, so there is a chance for Vietnam to take that one away, as Braum will also be picked up alongside the Varus. So everything is pretty clear as we head into the first couple of picks here. Nothing too crazy from either team.
Yeah, if we just take a step back and already just look at the composition, Tahm Kench and Trundle, just great disengage options, means that you can actually play around these larger objectives, dragons and Rift Heralds, and be fairly confident about not having an outright team fight. Means that if Varus throws out his ultimate, how do you follow that up? For Vietnam, that's going to be their major question, because perhaps they just say, hey, maybe we don't. Maybe Stark actually ends up picking up a Gnar and goes split pushing in the side lane matchup. A Quinn could be a possibility. You can already see Korea just nailing down these split pushing top laners because they know that Keen won't have the pick of the litter here. That Stark can actually just go for a counter matchup, and we've seen Stark's games in the past. He can go towards Urgot for God's sake. So I mean, like, he has a champion pool that he's confident with. So just nail down the basics.
Yeah, and also nail down the Volkos as well, actually. Just take that one away from Faker, Roller's champion pool. As you said, big picks in the top side of the map, and also actually paying some attention to even in the jungle as well, removing the Gragas.
Yeah, Vel'Koz has been in the composition of Korea yesterday, actually. one of their compositions was literally Varus, Braum, Vel'Koz, Trundle, and Ryze in the top side. Pretty AP heavy, but at the end of the day, they just know that Vietnam knows that Faker is willing, can play it. So get that out of there, knowing that he can go towards a blind pick mage. And you already see with the compositions there, Trundle and Tahm Kench makes it easier for just an immobile mage to just beast out in team fights.
Going to get a carry jungle coming from Ejin as well. That's exactly what I like to see. And on Korea's side, it's just going to be an Orianna, something relatively safe into the mid lane. Nothing too insane coming out from Faker here today, but need to line up the roster with a top laner. Let's see what Keen's got for us.
Wonder if he just goes straight down towards an Ornn. Actually, it's going to be a Cho'Gath. Wow. So just a stark, simple team fight composition coming out of Korea. A lot of great setup opportunities. Looking at the Tahm Kench, once he pings 6, you can actually make plays happen through sending out bottom lane straight towards mid. And then on top of that, Orianna Ball, of course the Cho'Gath Q. There's a lot of ways to zone the enemy team if a team fight were to happen. So let's just say Korea ends up having the control wards around these major objectives. How does Vietnam actually walk into Korea? That's the major question that Korea is going to be challenging Vietnam in this game.
Yeah, probably led by an equalizer, I reckon, as we have a rumble locked in there for Stark into the top lane. They're going into the Cho'Gath for at least on any phase.
So that's the follow-up. We're talking about the follow-up that you have for a Varus ultimate. It's either you split push and you don't follow up, or in this case, Stark says, yeah, equalizer, send that in there, and set them up for a proper team fight. So Vietnam is actually going to be fairly comfortable if they don't have the vision control, because their long-range engage is there.
All right, so we have the full compositions. Ryze into Orianna. Typically a pretty good matchup for the Orianna. I was picked up in the first place. Handshakes coming in from the coaches. Get on to the ref. As we already mentioned, impossible for Vietnam to make it to the semi-finals with such a big gap being opened up by People's Republic of China and the Republic of Korea. However, they can still upset the standings here coming on to the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, so I want to see what ends up happening in this game, see if Vietnam can actually shake things up just a little bit. Now, big question to me is where Peanut strikes first. It might be hard for him to do that, knowing that Eugen's picked up his Graves here. We've seen Graves being picked up by him. We've seen him tearing it up with it. So I want to see if Eugen can actually attack Peanut first, get him out of the map, and isolate these solo lane matchups.
Yep, currently Vietnam, their #1 fan is the Chinese squad. It's like, all right, get this upset on the board. We're about to get onto the rift for Vietnam taking on the Republic of Korea.
So here we have it. I mean, taking a look at the level 1s, I think it's in favor of Vietnam. That being said, Faker's actually pushing him out of the mid lane. This is important. It allows your team to actually push in blue side, get a ward down or two.
All 3.
I mean, that would be a lot of wards.
Or 4.
Stop it.
Or 5.
No, impossible. Ward's already been placed down. And actually, you can already see Graves has a red trinket here. So he's starting out cute. He's saying, ain't nobody going to be seeing where I'm starting. Not at all. And if you so much as place a ward, I will get an experience advantage by killing it.
I know. It's a well-known fact that whoever gets the first ward of the game, the first minion, probably going to win the game. There's at least a percentage value to that one for certain. And yeah, Slayer and Ron OP, bottom side, is going to be blocking this one up, leaning against his door. Ejin starting on the top side on his red buff.
Let's see what his first round is on the Graves, because we've seen a lot of pathings be red buff, Krugs, Raptors. I mean, it's the go-to, but if you end up picking the red trinket early on, you can actually try and push for blue buff early. And so you can try and just kind of force the enemy junglers to stick to the bottom lane entirely and just swap sides. We'll see if that's what the go-to is here.
Yep, Ejin actually moving down now into river, it looks like.
There we go.
Finds out the ward. Nicely played.
They knew that the ward was placed down there, so making it so they're going to be swapping sides. Trundle's actually, I wonder if he's challenging it, because he is moving towards the top side of the map, so he's not even going to be saying, yeah, we're not swapping sides. It's either I get triple buffed, or we're making, getting a fight down here.
Yeah, we're going to tussle in the jungle right here. Ejin's already started this one off. It's down to around 1,000 HP, and he's got his smite. He's just now it's like, what are you doing with my blue buff? Peanut, though, realizes he's going right into a Graves who has red buff and his range and can kite him all day. So he's at least going to shove him away from this jungle.
Yeah, but take a look at what happens mid lane here. So Orianna got the shove mid, so Peanut could actually stick around for a little while longer, just because he had the mid laner coming through. He's going to have to double down if that's the case, because Graves not moving away.
No, he's still after this one. In fact, he's aggressing into Peanut. Peanut, he's completely out of mana right now.
Yep.
Both of them have the smite, and it's basically whoever gets the auto attack is going to be immediately onto the smite, but neither of them are even going to give it to the other person.
If Peanut so much as smites the wolf camp, yeah, immediately Graves is just going to move towards the blue buff. I'm surprised that Ejin didn't try and challenge the wolf camp a little harder and expend the smite from Trundle. That being said, Trundle understands his role here. He's not going to be challenging whatsoever. That just means Peanut loses out a lot because he made that decision. He had that tree. Like, yeah, you know what? I either move towards the enemy blue buff and trade sides. I knew this was going to happen. Or I try and challenge. He challenges. He loses out. The experience advantage is in favor of Ejin as long as he can actually move towards the bottom side. You can already see Peanut having his role and going straight towards the enemy blue.
Yeah, I mean, luckily Ruler and Core JJ actually had control of that lane pushed up. They'll be able to actually help him out with this blue buff. Going to be so detrimental to Peanut is essentially just going to be swapping sides of the rift here.
Swapping sides, but losing tempo.
Yeah.
That's the major problem here. The Trundle could have done this much earlier on, but now Graves has already cleared out that top side, and he's already moved towards his Raptors, can go towards his Krugs again, so the experience advantage is still there for Graves, and it just means that Trundle, he tried, he made the effort, it didn't work out, he's going to have to hold that hell.
In the mid lane, Faker taking on Warzone. As we said, Warzone's definitely been building up some accolades for himself, seeing a lot of play internationally. That's what this tournament so far. But this is not a great matchup for the old Ryze. Orianna able to outrange him, auto-attack trades as well in her favor.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter, he just wanted the base. He needed to get his tier, so as long as he was able to get the shove out, here comes the Trundle pillar.
There it is. But Rhino Peak brings up the door.
Didn't have to heal. You could have saved
Yeah, a little bit shocked that one came out.
You could have saved it. Because the Trundle pillar failed a little bit. It didn't get the knock up. So you moved around it successfully, and then the shield came out. Oh well.
Playing an extra safe.
Yeah.
You never know, that level 4 Ash Arrow could have come forwards.
Nope.
Peanut. Just been really just pushed around here by Ejin. That's a level differential. He's going to continue pushing. Warzone's right here now, and Faker's already gone back to base. Peanut has to get help from his bottom lane. Core JJ taking a bunch of damage out from Warzone actually. May have to hit the grey health. Gives a bit of time for Peanut to take the small Raptors, but the big chicken's already gone for Ejin.
There we go. I mean, immediate success coming through here from Team Vietnam. Ejin's netting himself that advantage. The only thing to make him point on is that it's not a tier being built up from Warzone. He has a double mana crystal. Now he's going to be building up a few of those because he needs a Rod of Ages later on. But I guess he just didn't have enough to actually finish up his tier. So he's going to have to be a little bit longer out there. He does need a second base. Well, he got his second base, but he's just got an extra ring, a control ward, so potion. So he's at least ready for the lane.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. He's at least ready for the lane. Just needs an extra back if he wants to get the tier set.
Yeah, we'll have to go for that one relatively shortly, but for now though, I mean, just playing around these timings, it feels like Ejin has just had the better of Peanut in the jungle for the first 6 minutes of the game. It's outpaced him, ahead in terms of farm and ahead in terms of experience. We'll be hitting level 5 after another camp or so, and he's invading again. He's just going to take away the scrum.
It's a deep committal. If you go into the top side blue side jungle, then you know that your top lane is going to be shoving out. That must be the reason why they have the rumble.
Oh, forcing the flash out from Warzone right there. And
wow.
Peanut, he's on top of the Graves. Not what he wants to see. Good flash coming forward, but the response flash and the charm. That's going to be first blood.
That's why I wanted to see what happened top side, because if you are committing for a Grom take, then your top laner has to come. That's what's needed to happen, because you're committing to a fight then, because Peanut challenged you in the past. He's going to challenge you again in the blue side jungle. So, I mean, they locked in the rumble so the top lane pressure would be there. And you just didn't catch him out. They didn't see the Trundle coming at you.
That's a big deal. I mean, for all that happened in the early game, Ejin outpacing, out-tempoing Peanut, he ends up getting the essentially solo kill coming out of there. I mean, it was just a straight solo kill, there's no assist coming forward, so Peanut feeling very good about that one. Actually see how he got on top of him.
He probably
walked up.
Yeah, throwing down the W, of course. Ejin couldn't even get the slow across.
Wow.
Flash, Trundle, Chomp. That's how you end it.
Yeah, I mean, typically it's difficult for a Trundle to get on top of Graves in the first place. You saw that at the start, especially when they both had red buff. and by the time that the differential has been created by the health bars, you know, Trundle's not going to win that fight, but he just called him on Gromp. I just have to assume that Egen had already used his quick draw and was at a point where he just couldn't kite away from the Trundle.
Just know that if you're Graves and you're trying to run back to your own tower, all you really have there is that quick draw. You have your E, while the Trundle prays down that W, has the movement speed buff.
Sprints at you, 100-meter sprint.
100%. As long as he gets his pillar across, you're going to have to fight him. That's what ends up happening. It's just unfortunate that the pressure is completely now moved in towards Trundle's favor.
Royal Core JJ just resolving the wave right here. Nothing to write home about in the bottom side, equal farm. Got the Vamp Scepter starters off as well from Brawler. Actually, Slade completing the full Bilgewater Cutlass. But actually, Egen looking towards the bottom side, just saying hello. Nothing else to farm in his jungle right now. He's actually just completely crushed his jungle. Looks like Stark's taking Kroger's right there.
Yeah, this is what's going to be difficult for Vietnam. That their composition pretty much heavily relied on Egen just focusing on the jungle matchup. If that's not the focus anymore, how is he going to actually look for a gank? If he looks mid lane, it's a possibility with the Rune Prison, but the cleanse is there from Faker, and he's actually been playing very respectfully. So, opening is starting to close there for Vietnam, while Korea playing a slower laning phase is what they need.
For now, just pushing in the wave. Stark has a small CS advantage, which is nice for him, but again, not really going to be hurting Key in the long run. Warren's just going to get his blue up, so we're pretty much just looking forwards now. About 9 minutes into this game, we're probably going to be looking towards the first couple of skirmishes. First dragon of the game is going to be an Ocean Dragon, so don't expect too many sparks to be flying over that one.
Ocean Dragon doesn't do too much damage, but of course the slow, the repeated slow is what really stops the junglers from actually soloing it. So you don't want to solo it because let's say Trundle walks up and he's like, hey, yeah, that's nice.
I've seen people try though.
Yes, they have.
I saw one very recently, in fact. I don't know if you were with me on cast, but
I was there. I even called it out. I was like, don't do it. As a jungler, I despise soloing Ocean Dragon. I think it's a bad idea, and it's completely based off risk. If you know where the enemy, okay. Well,
what did we just say?
Awkward. Well, at the very least, Trundle's top side, so this is fine. It doesn't do much damage to you, but it just means that you're hoping that no one finds out.
Yeah. Because if someone finds out, you are 100% dead.
Yeah, not even gonna solo it. Brings in the rest of his team. Knows that you can secure it.
The whole family's here. It's all right.
Let's roll the dice. Let's see what the next one is. Cloud.
Damn.
Well, you had it going for him at one point.
Well, 6 minutes from now, we'll roll again. We'll roll another dice. Hope for that critical success.
Might not even get a chance because the Rift Herald, if that gets taken, you throw that one, slap it mid lane. Then how do you even reach a dragon next time? Let's see what they end up dropping the Rift Herald.
Yeah, we'll see if they play it safe, maybe put in the side lane. But if they can just crack open mid, you're 100% right. Warzone getting a nice combo down onto Faker, but little does he know, there is a Trundle right behind him.
He doesn't even care, mate.
No, he's actually he just won the matchup.
Sonic the Hedgehog just runs away.
He's completely out, but again, Orianna just able to spam her abilities, pokes from long range. It's just, if you find those opportunities rise, do it, but you're probably not going to be winning after that. And there's the Herald right into mid lane. I mean, straight up in the 1v1, Faker managed to push out Warzone, so it'll be the easiest Herald charge of your life.
One of my favorite Worlds event, as you can see the audience loving it, was actually just Faker placing, in the Orianna Rise matchup. Okay, you know what? I guess
Fanning on the shockwave, following through with the auto attacks as well.
Done.
Faker flashing forwards, command attack, command, gotta go mid lane.
Full style. He just had his own jungler come by, help him out, pushes out the wave, gets the kill on the tower. He's like, why are you even doing Egen? This is Faker on form, doesn't even need to use cleanse 11 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you there, Mr. Raz, but I will say that Faker has been looking more and more competent over this tournament with Score and Peanut by his side, but Egen just walked into the maw of death.
Yeah, this is when you're just trying to play it risky. You don't expect the Orianna to press their ult button, but you know what? If you have both summoners, Faker says just do it. I have Luden's Echo. Of course I'm gonna kill.
Now, I don't know if Egen actually had flash right there, because he used his quick draw 100%, but his flash is still up, so
I'm giving him the respect of saying that he didn't have it.
Yeah. Because if he did, definitely should have expended that one. But still, kill over to Faker, allows him to complete his Luden's Echo.
So at this point, with how well they've been doing, 12 minutes into the game, Their goal is actually to look towards bottom lane a little bit more. They can actually just flip the switch and go top lane. It's a little bit harder. The only reason they would do it is because Rumble is fairly easy to dive. Doesn't have a stopwatch at all as well. So you can actually go for that just because it's an easy, if you're top lane, you can make it happen. But if you can free up your dual lane, then it's a lot easier to then free up core JJ, easier pressure on top side. So it's basically risk and reward. Easier to set up the dive top lane, but the biggest reward is being able to free up core JJ in the bottom lane.
Yeah, for certain. Also, setting up with that enchanted crystal arrow as well would be
that would be nice.
Easy. I mean, that's the play. Every time you see that Ashe come into the rift, you're like, well, that's the play. Open up mid lane, perfect. Go towards the bottom lane, easy setup. Faker zoning away, hits the shockwave once again. Warzone uses to walk forward into another command attack.
That was a Luden's proc too, just giving the extra damage. Look at Rise, has to go back to base.
That was the stun down, that was the arrow onto Slay. Finds the gobble up, and it's going to be an easy kill over to Peanut.
Yikes, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, literally, just across the board, Korea just taking them down. They don't even need the Orianna because she just dealt with the Rise so easily. Nice.
Yeah, mid lane, complete demolition. Bottom lane, demolishing the tower, in fact, as the teleports are coming through, but it's a counter teleport. Warzone chose to complete this one. Literally came back from base just so he could die to Ruler. Start coming into the bottom side, lays down the equalizer, sends Korea to the left-hand side. It was like, okay, a minor inconvenience as we take down the tower. Another teleport being expended here, but doesn't even get it off in time. Run OP, hoping it would come down, but he silenced and he is dead to Keen, feasting down on Braum.
You can feel the pressure there for Vietnam. That they needed to get something going where they would lose the bottom lane tower and just slowly bleed out in the game. So they're like, all right, send out the Rise. But the counter teleport happened very quickly, and they didn't even technically need the Cho'Gath because they were just able to burst down Warzone. This is a very tough game for Vietnam.
Yes, it is 5-0. The only thing that Vietnam have to their name is an Ocean Dragon. Everything else has gone to Korea so far.
But you see that aura though. Look at it. It's doing some work.
I do. All those nice bubbles, giving some regen to Slay. We're back to full mana in a good minute from now.
Hey man, it's doing some work. That's value.
It is. I reckon they would probably prefer to have extra gold though on their carries because you're looking towards Rise, hasn't completed the full item, sat on 2 components. Looking at the Orianna, completed boots just now, has the Ludens. Bottom lane, completed Blade of Rune King while on the way to the second item. Even has the completed second tier boots. Top lane, Abyssal Mask.
So at the very least, I'd say that Vietnam's understanding the lane priority here, sending their dual lane top lane to try to defend that tower. They're bringing in the Rumble as well, so they understand that he needs to be there, no teleport. If they send him out of lane, then they just lose 4v4. So there should be a numbers advantage here for Vietnam if they can get the play going.
Warzone again getting called over this wall. He's taken so much damage. I mean, Faker, if he had mana right there, he was probably dead.
Yeah, he thought he was actually getting a good trade because no mana on Faker, but he has blue buff. Just chill out for 30 seconds and he'll get it back to a decent degree. So yeah, these are bad trades here for Warzone.
Faker even had ultimate there, so if he had the mana, that was definitely a kill. Tam Kench getting called out by himself, but there's the shockwave onto 2. So much damage onto Slay. Core JJ buys some time. In comes Peanut, the teleport coming through right into an Ashe arrow. He's going to die immediately to the Trundle, and now that is a Rumble caught over the wall. Flashes over to get to relative safety. A 1-for-1 though, trade and all.
So this is what we were looking for. I mean, they had the numbers advantage bringing in Rumble, but they played it too quickly. You know, it was the Rise that ended up realm warping himself into 3 people. Had they really went front to back on that one, with the Rumble ultimate just kind of peeling the rest of the team away, then they would have gotten free Tahm Kench, would have been able to pressure for a top lane tower. That didn't happen though, so Korea still has the pressure after the play was being made.
Now that was a straight kamikaze coming out there from Warzone, but still they managed to get themselves a kill, and that kill went over to the Rumble. So it's still a win. In a way.
He lost the wave's bottom lane, so he needed to make that work.
It's still a win. In a way.
In a way.
Yeah.
In a way, does that equate to not really?
Hangatkan hatimu, berikan energi di dalam semangatmu. Tegaklah berdiri, terbanglah kau tinggi. Inilah saatnya namamu bergema, maknai kekalahan sebagai kemenangan yang tertunda. Jangan pernah berputus asa, jadi yang terbaik. Show the world.
Run OP trying to block up the damage coming out from the ADC, and they managed to take down Peanut.
Hey man, you're talking about silver linings. At this point, it's turning into gold. You're actually getting a lot out of this across the map. It's just because Korea is trying to just take as much as they can here at the same time, but they're now just slowly failing in that regard. So Peanut just trying to get in some extra damage, but the Braum shield did a lot to save out Slay in that situation. So really good job for Vietnam defending themselves while making the play in the bottom lane.
All right, Crab, for the hero we need. Kite towards the. There it is. It's a Mountain Dragon.
You were right all along.
There you go.
I'm sorry I doubted you.
25%, 100% of the time.
There we go.
Ejin moving towards his own jungle right now.
He's using Faker's Rise skin.
He actually is. He just picked up an Archangel staff as well.
All right, we need a 1v1 immediately.
Is that respect? Or is it
He's only about that disrespect.
I know, that's why I was like, if it's Warzone, it's probably BM.
Yeah, 100%.
I like it. But so far the laning phase didn't go super well for him, but just getting that kill back into the bottom lane probably felt pretty good for him.
And Baron's going to be coming up in 45 seconds, so very key for Braum to get the vision across on the top side. He just wants to buy himself some more control wards here, so once they end up pushing back through mid lane, then they can actually set up around Baron. It's going to be pretty dicey for them, honestly, because they're going to be walking up against an enchanted crystal arrow, and Faker has been willing to throw out his shockwaves in the past this game, so that's what you have to be going up against. Korea is going to be in position here. It's going to be on Vietnam to try and upset the balance.
Yeah, walking down that ramp is not going to be a fun time, to be honest, coming out of catwalk, but we'll see if they can do it. Currently Slay and Ron OP holding down the fort in the middle lane. Dynamic duo who's performing relatively well. I mean, they're just being constantly battered down and bombarded, so it's really just down to whether they can get a kill in return or just not die. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Ejin, 2-2-1, opened up the game strong, but then ended up dying to the Trundle. And push now being set up into the mid lane. Peanut pushing forwards. Puts out the pillar.
You can already see what the name of the game here is for Peanut. Throw down the Trundle pillar and make it easier for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow to land if they deem it fit to throw. At this point, with how closely Braum has been playing beside Slay, then it's going to have to hit Slay, whether you Braum, whether you like it or not. He's going to throw himself right into the thick of things. Which is, I think he should actually, you know, a few times you see supports picking up the QSS if they're going to be the ones getting hit by it. Not going to be the case if he ends up, because he's just pretty down in gold, but that's what I would like to see.
And right now, Korea just pushing up the mid lane, pushing up all the lanes at the same time. Only one inner turret remaining, in fact. Just fishing for a pick if they can find it.
Oh!
Control of the jungle, but flank coming in from Ejin finds Faker, but Core JJ safe as hands right there. We'll get the Devourer up, in comes the Equalizer, flash away from the Shockwave, Peanut tanking up the left flank. Korea returning with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and he's in place for solo. What's that damage coming out from Faker? Almost a one-shot of that volley coming forward.
Really unfortunate on the side of Vietnam. They couldn't nail down the... plenty of ultis, in fact. The Green Prison didn't hit. Rumble ulti was avoided. The Varus ulti was also missed. So if they had hit one of them, actually would have been a really good job from them. They would have definitely nailed down Faker. But no, Korea played that one out well, kited backwards, even tried to get a fight for himself.
Faker's got a target in his sight. He's still going to keep up the damage, but in comes Ejin. Core JJ flashing forwards offensively. Faker had the damage. Gets the kill, now running away from Ejin. He doesn't have his collateral damage. He will dash forwards down to Core JJ to open up some distance. Extra movement speed, start coming in. Again, great shockwave. Just trying to run away from this one. Core JJ body blocking. The Tam Kench coming up clutch.
A key Orianna ulti as well to push the Rumble back. Being said Slay, they're on OP. So close to getting the kill on towards G.
Oh, that one landed. Piercing arrow flash forward. Winter's bite from Ron OP.
Already starting on towards Baron. What the hell are you doing there? Get out of there, Peanut.
He's trying his best. That was Cloud Damage coming up. Almost nets a double right there. Double low health bars from Korea.
No HP on Stark, no HP on Ron OP. So had they been in a much healthier position, they would have started on towards Baron. That would be a good time to do that. You know, Faker, Peanut's not going to be on the map.
Wasn't
Gene got
Hansi
killed. Exactly. So that would have been a good idea had they been kept a few of them alive there. But unfortunate for them. But they're keeping the game close. What I like about Vietnam, they're fighting no matter how far behind they fell early. So this is a close one.
Yeah, they do not sit on their laurels once they're behind. It is it's A, fun to watch, and B, always allows them a way back into the game. The fact they've still been able to snag these kills around the major objective. And hey, it's not over until Baron sings.
Just love the fact of how Yijin's playing this one out now. This was the catch on towards Keen coming out of the flank to try and help out Peanut, and Faker top side of the map. But he get caught out by Slay and Run OP. They think they can kite this back, but remember, they didn't anticipate the fact that Peanut would be meeting Stark, the bottom side. So, able to immediately turn that on towards Keen, and of course the pit fight that we won't get to see, where it turns on Peanut once again.
Someone died. Stark died during that replay.
Oh, nice.
Detective Raz.
I've got nothing for you.
Yeah.
Let's just say
Looks
it was
like
an
it was top
implosion.
lane. And I reckon Faker solo killed him.
I say it's an implosion.
Yeah, it doesn't really turn into anything, but will allow Korea into the bottom side of the map, and Vietnam will definitely be challenging Baron over this one.
Alright, get a stack here for Cho'Gath again.
Cloud Dragon.
Oh!
2 out of 2.
Oh, you're the betting man here today.
Yeah.
I can't touch you. That's unfortunate.
Absolutely demolished. We're gonna have one more, so we'll get another chance.
Take
Okay,
a look at
there
how
we
he
go.
ended up dying.
Oh,
Tom
it was
Cantelton.
no, it wasn't just Faker. It was the whole party.
This is what I love to see
I'm
out
sorry,
of
Stark.
Tomcat composition. You just bring in the whole crew. They literally used everything on that one.
His bot lane was just looking at him from the sidelines as well. I'm sorry, buddy. It's nothing we can do.
Yeah, it's not much you can do on that one. It's always fun to see Tom Kench teams come out there and how they end up using his ultimate. The two ways you can use it. I know we had the Nocturne game earlier on, is to upset the side lane situation. So if Rumble's pushing out too far off, you just throw the entire team in there. So that's one way to use it. The other way is just into tempo. In this case, they haven't been using him for tempo at all. So Korea's just trying to get as many fights out across as possible. I know they're trying to meet Vietnam. Vietnam's been trying to get the fights, especially in the bottom side of the map when they were pushing for mid lane towers. So I want to see how Vietnam can try and play around there 25 minutes into the game.
I mean, that's going to be it, really, because if Vietnam can challenge over Baron, if they manage to pick up the Baron, that stalls it at least for another 3 minutes. And that's pretty much all that they need to just stabilize the game right here. Yes, it's a 6,000 gold lead coming out for Korea, but there's always a chance. Never say die.
And one thing you have to remember is that the Righteous Glory being picked up by the Cho'Gath, once he starts rolling with the team, it's a pretty snowbally effect of Vietnam thinking they can pick a fight. And a lot of the decisions being made in the previous team fights is this Korea can't catch Vietnam in these situations. When they actually do join up as a team, that's going to close the distance.
Well, indeed. I'm not saying it's going to be easy for them. I don't think anyone watching this game would be like, this is going to be an easy shout for Vietnam, but there's a chance. When there's a chance and there's a will, there's a way. Opening up some distance there with the collateral damage. In from behind though, Peanut looking for the wrap around. Slay with the turn. Nice ultimate coming forward. Run OP and Agent already chunked out here. Warzone turns up to the fight. A lot of damage in return. Slay low. He'll flash over the wall right there. And somehow we have no casualties.
3 blinking HP bars. You can't touch them, apparently. Something just a guardian angel over their heads. That being said, Korea is going to nail this advantage. There's no way Vietnam can try and contest this. Maybe they can send one member TP coming through. Cancel it.
They got a Guardian Angel, but I think they wanted the Crossroads Demon. They wanted to sell their soul to get the Baron, because right now, Korea picking it up. That could be the final nail in their coffin.
The TP actually being used by Rise. I guess he thought he had a little bit more time to try and contest, but now he's just sitting in the mid lane. Hopefully he can push this one out, because that's going to be a Baron buff minion striking their turrets. So at least get these waves pushing now.
27 minutes. Korea have a lot of time to make this Baron power play happen. Only the inhibitor towers remaining. Sending up into the mid lane, setting up the waves. What I like to see. Stark and Ejin, yeah, gonna have to make themselves scarce right here, especially Ron OP actually leading up the rear. Warzone on his way back to base, well aware of the current situation they find themselves in. and Korea actually just great lane assignments coming in. Faker in one lane, Keen in the other, and the rest in the mid.
Yeah, just draw the battle lines. Bot and mid lane are the waves you're going to be seeing Korea try and push up with. So you can already see Cho'Gath, he has the top lane wave slowly pushing, but the immediate worry is, of course, Ruler going to be moving with Peanut through mid and bottom lane. He also finished up his Infinity Edge too, so he is incredibly powerful. So in these longer team fights, expect him to be dishing out quite a bit. Okay.
Didn't land, dodged out by Ejin, but gonna be another one getting knocked and loosed in just a minute from now. It's always worth looking for those.
Yeah, good reactions, good reactions. If you can catch the Grave sleeping, tunneling towards the Wolf camp, maybe you get him, but not in this situation. Okay.
In here at that point, looking for the shockwave, but Warzone's already on top of Faker. But there's Core JJ, always in the right place at the right time. Now he's under attack, but this is a tanky Kench. Goes in for the extra shielding, and Ejin chasing down to Faker, but the shield is huge! Shutdown comes out for the Tam Kench.
Yeah, Ejin thought he can get the solo across.
Oh,
my
Faker
God.
coming out with the flash kill right there. Peanut now under attack, and he's getting chased down, but a fantastic pillar. May save his life. Winter's bite just goes wide.
And Keen ends up taking the kill topside too. What the hell is happening?
Wait a minute, what is this? This was meant to be my home, but there's a Cho'Gath in it. A kill onto Slay. Run OP. What's a man to do? He shows him the door.
Yeah, double kill for Ruler. And that's how you know the game's gonna end. A team wipe for the Republic of Korea.
Left and right, utter collapse right there from Vietnam. And Ruler, you don't need to farm the minion wave, buddy. You've got the game. But if you want to pout this match, you can do that too. Korea still undefeated.
And you had some nice windows. You look towards Vietnam's side. It was no way near the Pakistan versus Chinese Taipei type of matchup. They fought hard, a lot of nice flanks coming through, but at the end of the day, a clean victory for the Republic of Korea.
And the biggest thing for me was just watching Faker just feel real comfortable on stage.
Yeah. God bless, man.
Flashy plays coming through. The outplays, the 1v1.
He just reminded me of Worlds when you see the Orianna versus
It was a
Fly's
flashback.
matchup, and he is so comfortable with the jungler providing him the pressure that he can just consistently push out, chip down that turret. He was doing so damn well within his own lane that it was easy pickings for the Rip Trail to be placed down mid and the tower to be broken up. You can see the Korean fans out there
Heck yeah.
repping them.
Yeah, massive fan following coming in from Korea and also for the People's Republic of China here at Asian Games, putting out the stands here. I'm just saying, I want to see this. I want to see this Korean team in the OCK. I just want to see this. It's great.
Look, of course, if you're going to have an all-star team comes out, you want to see them combine together. That's not how that works. That's not how
But
that
I want it, damn it.
contract lock. That's not how you're going to do it. Standing ovation for the Republic of Korea.
Yeah, well deserved that as well. Still undefeated, 5-0 so far in Group A. Doesn't look like it's going to change, just pulling further and further away. The only people challenging them is the People's Republic of China, but again, just picking win after win.
Just crisp, clean play. Honestly, I feel like it's Mama Power. I'm just going to put that out there because, you know, Faker's mama's out there in the crowd giving him his energy, and it just feels like with the backing of the audience, the fans that are coming out there,
Yep.
and obviously, I mean, this is just a strong team no matter what.
It's just momentum, man. That's what it feels like. You know,
Yes.
this team just cannot be stopped right now. And
Can't
you
do
know,
it.
if you're moving into semi-finals, I mean, who are they likely to go up against? If coming out of the first seed, you're probably looking at either Saudi Arabia, maybe Pakistan. I mean,
Yeah.
you're just looking at a straight shot towards finals.
Yep, definitely Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is going to be the go-to that you'd look towards realistically the challenge. It's going to be difficult for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. At this point, you're going to have to just get the prep down. You know you have a long day ahead of you. You know you're going to be playing out games, but have at least an understanding that the next few games of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is going to be a prep time. That you know that if you can succeed in those matchups, that ultimately if you go up against Korea, you're going to have at least have a few strategies in tow. If they bring out Peanut, then maybe you can attack the jungle matchup because I think Peanut in the very early game was playing it risky. Playing it very risky. He could have been 3 buffed. In fact, he was playing incredibly defensive. It was just a turning point when Graves went into the enemy jungle, went for a Gromp take, and was just soloed out. Had that not happened, Ejin would still have that advantage. Now, that being said, Korea would have probably picked up another lead in one way, shape, or form, but like, that's where I feel like
I'm just saying,
that's
you know, you said it yourself, the feast or famine, the high risk, high reward play. It's just fun to watch, man. Like, you know, as a caster, as a viewer, that's what I want to see. And high risk cashed in. got the kill onto the Graves, all equaled up, got ahead of the Graves, and just cascaded out of control from there. I think moving forward though for Korea, later today they're going to be facing China for their second time. It's going to be a big match that'll be happening right after Chinese Taipei taking on Indonesia. So make sure to tune in for that one. And then also at the end of the day, we'll have tiebreakers, and then we'll also have semi-finals happening. We'll be taking approximately an hour break between tiebreakers and going into the semi-finals for that one. But there's still a lot of games to play for Korea, so they can't just sit down. They can take the rest while they can for the next couple of games, but then it's hype time.
Yeah, thank you for that 1 hour break, just because for the players it is, you don't want to have a potential 3-game tiebreaker, I don't think it's possible at this point, that you go through those tiebreakers to immediately then get into stage for the semifinals. Not a good idea.
Yeah, you want some separation.
You do, so I think that's a good call there. So immediately as we see how Korea's forming out, I love the fact that they're giving Peanut some play time, that we can see the difference between both junglers. Obviously there's a stylistic difference, but in terms of just consistently clear cut,
yeah.
I like Score. I think Score, clear cut, is a much more reliable jungler in those situations, and that's what we'll probably see coming out of best of 3. That being said, remember subs can just come in during a best of 3 or best of 5 scenario, so that's still possible if they lose out a game or if they want to give an extra buffer game. Anything's possible there.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, it's flavor for me at this point, because I mean, I would just love to see a Peanut game. You can strike fast, strike hard. Score, consistent, yes, but if you want to hit those high highs, you bring in Peanut. It's the same thing with MLXG when you see him over in the LPL. It's just like, you bring in MLXG, you bring in Carson. Do you want consistency or potentially someone just to pop off and just 1v9?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they only have that 1v9 because they don't have the Carson here. So you're just getting MLXG, and MLXG's been having good performances. So, especially when it is his first game going against Kazakhstan, obviously that one's going to buff up your KDA.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were able to just nail down the matchup so easily, giving him the Camille pick, which he's so good on, makes it so he can actually propel the bottom side ahead, or just focuses on his own lead. So hopefully, and here's what I'm saying, China versus Korea, that's going to happen later today. You already mentioned it. I want to see Peanut versus MLXG.
I want to see Peanut versus MLXG.
Well, I saw it in the qualifiers, and that was fun as hell. So I want to see it again.
Yeah, that was just awesome. It was just across the rift, constant action. My God, Faker, I'm going to need you to calm down. That is a ridiculous amount of damage coming out from that Orianna play.
Constant trading in the mid lane. Takes the tower down. 100 to 0s the Graves immediately afterwards. And then moves towards these side lanes, start playing around control wards, and he is just throwing out his Q just so he can look for the ultimate. So he's a major playmaker this game, and obviously the damage shows.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing it all. He was poking in lane, he was bursting people out. He's gonna pick up the MVP. He literally just did it all. Call this man Draven.
Damage to cold percentage, 165%.
That's Orianna.
The definition
40% damage percent? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
That right there is German efficiency. German team may not be here because, of course, it's Asian games.
Yes.
But they're here by
in
heart.
spirit.
In spirit.
In Faker's play on this Orianna. Yeah, 100%.
That's where the cogs came from. You can look at it.
That's true. Made in Germany. Gotta check the barcode on that one.
There we have it.
Wow, I'm just looking forward to more Korea games versus China. I think that's really just going to be the big game of the day, I think, moving forwards, because then we're going to have semi-finals, of course, Korea and China in the same group, so we're not going to be seeing them until the finals. But again, it could be a final preview.
Yeah, so, we're going to see at least how the other teams are faring. Next set's going to be Indonesia versus
Chinese Taipei.
So we get a little bit more of that action.
Yes, we will. For now, though, we're going to set up for an interview on stage, and we have Adek standing by.
After-match interviews of the 2018 Asian Games Esports Demonstration event. We just observed Team Korea win against Team Vietnam. I'm here with Peanut. Hi, Peanut. Congratulations. It was a great match. Well done. Well, everyone is asking, 5 wins in a row in group stage. That's awesome. You guys come here steady, simple, come do your job. Talk to us about this match, please.
지금까지 다 이겼는데 어떤 느낌이세요?
일단 5판 모두 약간 깔끔하게 잡은 것 같아서 다행이고, 이제 저희가 남은 게임만 이기면 저 A조 1위로 올라갈 수 있어서 그것만 보고 지금 게임하고 있고, 마지막 경기도 최선을 다해서 하겠습니다.
非常开心，他这次就是也非常顺利的赢了这场比赛，然后至今为止他们是全胜嘛，然后也很开心。如果接下来也顺利的话，
It was a nice match. It was a great victory for us. We're very happy of these results that we're having, and we're really looking forward for the next matches. Next question. Your next match is going to be against the People's Republic of China. It's an old opponent. You guys face them a lot of times. What's going to be the strategy if you guys want to keep on top of this group?
그 다음 경기에는 총구팀을 대전할 거라서 그래서 어떻게 준비할 거예요? 조 2위 얻기 위해서.
일단은 제일 중요한 거는 저희가 실수를 안 하는 게 제일 중요해서 그냥 첫날과 같이 그냥 저희 실수를 줄이고 저희 플레이만 하면 충분히 이길 수 있다고 생각해서 네, 저희 실수만 줄이면 될 것 같아요.
然后就是他说，接下来要面对中国队嘛，首先最重要的就是不要有失误，然后尽可能的减少失误，然后团队配合，然后他们想的话是充分的可以赢的。
If we avoid mistakes and we work as a team, we are very confident that we're going to end up with the victory and with the top of this group. Well, next match is going to be very interesting. We're going to have a whole day full of League of Legends, and everyone just stay with us and let's go with you back, boys.
AIS Play รวมความบันเทิงคุณภาพ เปิดความสนุกทุกที่ทุกเวลา